Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review episode number 215. This I'm reviewing the 215 episode of the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's anime, Prepared. This one adapts from the rest of chapter 48 and pretty much the entirety of 49. And oh boy, there is changes, there is anime original content for this thing. Like, wow, I was kind of surprised we actually had anime original content because they've been sticking pretty close to how the source material basically presented for the last several episodes, and now we throw in name original content? I'm like, wow, that's something. Oh yeah, and there is some changes. They actually had a whole bunch of characters who actually were not in the original chapters. So, we start off where we left off last week, where we finish up with the battle between Jagen and Kashikogen. Where Kashikogen's bent down, his arm is broken. And we see that Jagen has simply used his special ability to give himself a new coat and basically bring about wine glass. Drinks the damn thing, drops on the floor. And then we see that Kashikogen says something. Can't hear exactly what he said. What did he say? Summoning Jutsu. Summons himself a frog. He's inside the frog. And he teleports away. And if you're wondering, though, does he return after this? No! Because that's last time you see him, because he has not appeared since then at all. I mean, it's been like a year, a little over a year since these chapters were released. These chapters were released like July to August of last year, and he has not returned since then. Unknown what happened to Kashikoji. He just disappeared. Because he never returned after that. He just disappeared, stopped appearing. And then we see that Kashikogen goes off in the portal. Meanwhile, though, there's a right now that portion is still an original. Now it's basically not original. It's basically from the action manga itself. Not really much change there. Still same dialogue, and then we move into a bunch of original content mixed in with canon manga content here. First, starting off with the interrogation room, where the first obvious change to this particular scene is that we see Boruto wearing his ninja headband. You see, in the manga, he wasn't wearing this scene. In the anime, he clearly is wearing it. And of course, he's arguing with his father about going to fight Ishin. And of course, they decide to have Sai, and here's another character who is basically, they changed him too. Because in the manga, he is wearing such a headband, even though that this is something quite weird about Sai. He has never been shown in any form of anime wearing a ninja headband. Not really sure why the manga thought we're going to either give him one, despite the fact when he showed up in Naruto Shippuden, the entire series never wore a ninja headband. The movies he's popped up in, nope. In this series, nope, no ninja headband. Got the right attire, yes, the correct attire. Except that in the anime, he still has the giant scroll on his back. Well, basically on his lower back anyways. In the manga, it's not there. Excuse me. So they transport him away before all the craziness happened. Because they actually changed where Naruto was when Ishin first showed up in the anime. Because in the manga, he's in interrogation or just finished his argument with Boruto. In the anime, he's actually in a completely different location. So, they take Kawanki to a single location. In the manga, they don't really say where they take him. In the anime, oh boy, where do they take him? Okay, so we have Sai, Naruto, Armando, who actually is briefly seen in the chapter, but he doesn't do anything. As a matter of fact, he's actually absent for a small chunk of these. Like, he's absent for about a few chapters before he finally does return. He doesn't do a lot of anything. So we see those three, along with Susumuri and the doctor who's from the Hidden Leaf. So they go to a particular facility. Where do they go to? Why, the location of the Foundation! Which has not been seen in this series at all. Nope. I believe this episode is the anime debut of this facility. And of course they mention, oh yeah, the Foundation was led by a man named Danzo. Like, if you know Naruto Shippuden, you know exactly who this bozo is. Danzo, a guy who had frickin' shurikens planted in his frickin' arm. And who's pretty much indirectly responsible for the Uchiha clan massacre. Yes. So they go to this secret room to put Kawanaki in. By the way, like, in the manga, there's no mention of where they put him. They just picked him up and they put him, and they take him off someplace. And of course, it is mentioned by Naruto that Sai, when he came in, he had just finished evacuating the village, just a few people actually there. In the manga, there was an evacuation. This actually was a change from the actual manga itself. I don't mind the change. It's actually a really good change. So, they're basically transporting him. They mention that he's got a Byakugan. And according to Sai, apparently, get this. According to what the internet presents it, Danzo was suspicious not only of the Uchiha clan, but also the Hyuga clan as well. Why, you might ask? Because of their Byakugan. And, like, the way Naruto's dialogue is where he finds the Byakugan annoying, despite the fact his wife has got Byakugan. Why the heck would they write him this way for? Makes no freaking sense at all. Like, why would he find the Byakugan annoying even though he's married to a woman who's got one? Who happens to be Boruto's mom. Yeah, this makes no freaking sense at all. I did not like this portion of the dialogue. I mean, I get the fact, yes, he might find it annoying if he's a bad guy, but his father-in-law has got Byakugan, his sister-in-law has got Byakugan, his wife's got, even his daughter's got it. Why would he not like the Byakugan for? The writing for this makes no freaking sense at all. So, then of course with like a small area like evacuated, then we have this cool scene. We got all the ninja like I'll show you the village preparing here from Sai. And guess who also is in this scene? Oh boy, a bunch of characters who not even appear in the like there's two characters who appear in the scene who never appeared in the Boruto manga. Nope, never did. And who appears in this scene? Why, we see up front, we see Kakashi and Tsunade, which they haven't appeared in the anime for quite a while. And up front, we see Tenten, Choji, Rock Lee, and Kiba. There's even a brief cameo by Hanabi, even though you don't see her face at all, which I thought that was kind of weird. And of course, Shikamaru, everyone thinks Shikamaru's got a plan. He really doesn't, just basically back everybody. Like, okay. We also see Konohamaru, another character who's not even in the chapters they adapted for this episode. And what is he doing? Mourning Mugito's death, which he's basically his gravesite. Which, yeah, this particular scene, another thing that's completely unoriginal. So, and then finally he shows that we do see some people basically still trying to evacuate. In the anime, but in the manga, it's like, oh, everything's just like a normal day. No one knows about the fact that frickin' alien is showing up at their frickin' doorstep. At least in the case of the anime, they're prepared for this. So, the village is evacuated, so they can basically just do battle with him, no problem. So then we see Kiba, Tenten, Choji, and Kiba, the four people spoke in the meeting, distracting Isshin along with Konohamaru. And they battle him for a certain period of time. And then, of course, they get defeated. Yes, 4 of the Hidden Elite 12 get their butts handed to them by a frickin' alien. Okay, I'm happy to see Tenten. This is probably the first time she's appeared in the anime since this Team Ninja Scrolls arc. Great to see her, along with Kiba. Choji, I think the last time he showed up was also the Team Ninja Scrolls arc. But Rock Lee, like, when was the last time he appeared in the series? Let's see, last time I can think of he appeared was back during the Parent-Child Day arc. That was like over 100 episodes ago. So it has been a long time since he's been seeing this series. Konohamaru, I don't think it's been that long since he last appeared. It's been just a handful of episodes since he last appeared. So, And of course, then Naruto basically starts battling. Now, here's the thing: in the manga, when he starts battling Ishin, they battle on top of the Hokage mansion. In the anime, it's some random rooftop where he just after he defeated four of his friends and what is his son's sensei. Excuse me. I thought it was quite weird that they switched locations. I thought this is just so weird, but it makes sense because kind of in a ways because it means they don't have to do damage to the famous Hokage mansion who has been there for over 100 years. Meanwhile, though, in the interrogation where we see Sasuke and Boruto talking, where they talk basically that Naruto and Sasuke appear to get the life of the village. Is Boruto ready to do that? He's hesitant because of and of course, eventually happened during the last few episodes. Then they also come up with a particular plan to get Ishin away from the village. Now, before I continue with this scene, there's a brief scene of two more characters who don't appear in these chapters at all. Which one is it? Well, it's Sadara and Mitsuki. Where Sadara is coming out of the hospital. Which, that is something, because I'm thinking, though, like, why would she be in the hospital again? Wait, I almost forgot. She was injured. Yeah, and the thing was, Mitsuki was basically barely injured at all. It's something she wants to fight, but Mitsuki tells her no. And that's I see that. It's interesting though we threw these two in here. I'm glad the fact we threw in these two. If my friend Edgar was still watching this, he'd be very happy the fact that he Sadara briefly appeared in the series, but he hasn't watched the series since the Sadara arc. I'm not kidding about that. He hasn't watched the series in since the last episode. That arc aired about 4 years ago. Because basically what happened in the manga. Just watch the anime if you don't want to read the manga. That's my suggestion. So the interesting thing is that they keep this part in from the actual manga, where Boruto asked Sasuke to borrow his ninja headband, despite the fact he's wearing one, which doesn't make any sense by dialogue standards. Apparently the anime just forgot the fact he was wearing it. Oh wait, they have him take his ninja headband off, probably put it in his pocket, and put Sasuke's on, and then of course they throw a bunch of weapons, and of course they have them battle at this random alleyway, which I think in the manga they actually were still fighting in the Hokage mansion. They switched this random alley with this pillar there, and they throw shuriken, kunai at him, doesn't much of anything. And then Sasuke throws his sword at him because they think he's going to shrink it. And it turns out the sword is actually Boruto. And then they transport him to another dimension. And of course, Naruto and Sasuke just happen to fall behind. Oh, and by the way, here's something I do like though. Unlike previously when Naruto went to Ki mode, they actually went with the attire he had during the Naruto Shippuden arc throughout the latter half of the series, going for a 6-stage mode instead of going for what he had in the manga. This particular episode actually went with the look they had in the manga compared to what they did previously. Which, now, what do I think about this? Don't have a problem with it at all. It doesn't really affect the scene at all. I was actually quite surprised they went with this particular look, despite the fact the last time it was seen in the series, not so long before this, they were still using the 6-stage mode look for the Q mode for Naruto. Here, they basically switched to the manga look for probably just because that's the way they look in the manga, so why follow that? So they transport another dimension, so they want to end the damaged village. Good job with part of Boruto. Where the heck they transport to? Could be the way it looks. It kind of reminds me of the location that Naruto fought. That Naruto had witnessed the deadlock between Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru, and of course, Kabuto was there too. It looks like a very similar field. It could be that. I'm not sure. It just basically by appearance, but the field wise, it looks like it. But they said this is another dimension. What dimension is it? I have no idea because they don't say at all. And Basically, they prepare for the fight for their lives against, well, Ishin. Definitely a good episode. I would probably say that the changes really, I loved all the changes they made to this thing. And it's nice to see all these characters in here. There is a few things I didn't like, though, like the fact that 4 members of the Hidden League 12 got wasted by Ishin, along with frickin' Konohamaru. Oh, here's something. I think there's a brief appearance by Udon. Yeah, he briefly appears in the episode for a quick cameo. Mugi does not appear in this episode, which that's kind of surprising. And here's something, though. Do you see any appearance of any of the young ninja who is not part of Team 7? The answer is, well, besides Susumuri, Sadara, Mitsuki, and Baru, except for those 4, there is no young ninja in this whole episode. None. Which I would think they would help with evacuation. Like, I get the fact they're getting it. You could at least throw them in for a quick cameo, but nope. None appear in this episode. Which, I'm thinking, why? Why would you not have the young ninja who you're supposed to focus on the series on? You don't have him appear in this episode for a quick cameo? Nope. No appearance by them for some reason. Heck, there's a guy who looks like his freaking Sean Connery with the mustache and the weird-looking sideburns. He looks like Sean Connery from freaking Zardan. That's what it looks like to me. But not much to say this episode. It's definitely good. Just with the exception of you reckon my dislikes for this episode, it's like very minor at best. But I definitely do think that the changes actually helped. It made the episode a lot more exciting. It made the characters a lot more smarter. The fact they're prepared for the fact that Issue is going to make an appearance in the village. And it would seem, though, the people who worked in this episode clearly read the manga and must have realized that they had to make some changes to it. The changes were definitely necessary. Also, Ino is seen in the episode, even though she technically, you only heard her in the manga. At least in the anime, yeah, her make a physical appearance along with the sensory room, which is quite nice. I think the last time this room appeared was actually in an anime original episode, believe it or not. Yeah, but not much else to say this episode. Good episode. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my next review, which can be in our Comic Corner. And you'll be surprised which one it is, okay? Next video. Bye.